What's happening, team? It's Liam from Pursuit Pro Wrestling, bringing you an update about all things Pursuit Pro Wrestling. I'm guessing you can tell with me being sat at home, we're not in the unit just yet, but what I wanted to do was bring you a little bit of extra information about what we're planning to do and exactly what we're offering. Before we get into this, just to give you a quick recap on what Pursuit Pro Wrestling is. It's myself and Nathan Black teaming up to hopefully provide the best quality training service that we can. I've been a wrestler for a good number of years. I've done some pretty cool things in my time. Nathan, outside of the world of professional wrestling, has done a lot. Hosting, presenting, TV personality. He brings a whole different dimension and a whole different knowledge pool into what we're looking to provide. And we believe that wrestling composes of three main elements. Can you wrestle? Do you look like a wrestler? And can you talk like a wrestler? And those things are incredibly important to create a full package to then let people go off and do whatever they want to do, which again is what Pursuit Pro Wrestling is all about. What is your pursuit? What do you want to do within pro wrestling, and how can we help you get to be your best in however you perceive professional wrestling? Probably the most asked question that I've had is, when are we opening? And unfortunately that's a really hard thing for us to be able to say at this moment in time, mostly because we're all waiting on these guidelines and when exactly that date is going to be. Our plan as Pursuit Pro Wrestling is to be ready and open by whenever classes are allowed to restart. So basically, keep your eyes on the guidelines. Whenever that date comes and whenever that date is cemented, we're going to be open and we're going to be ready to go. Now on that front, what exactly are we providing? Well, we're looking at doing a Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday class. Again, these things aren't set in stone just at this moment in time, but just to give you a guideline of what we're thinking. A Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, where some of those classes are going to be more heavily coached. They're going to be about building the foundations of wrestling, and they're going to be more under a watchful eye. Some of those classes are going to be a little bit more free flowing, a little bit more you come with ideas and how do we help develop that. Now the reason for doing this is because I've seen this operate on two different sides. I think there's a need for both of these styles of training, and I think that it needs to be done correctly to allow both of those to prosper individually. All too often I've seen it where someone who is advanced comes to a beginner's class and doesn't feel like they get enough out of it, and I've also seen it where beginners come to advanced class and they are completely out of their depth. And what we want to be able to do is say, this class is more about your beginner stuff. This class is where you come to learn professional wrestling, and this class is where you come to hone your skill. But in order to coach professional wrestling, we need a wrestling ring, and we have a wrestling ring. In the unit, we will have a permanently erected 16-foot wrestling ring. Now, the important bit for me out of this, and something that I was very keen on having, is that you will have access all the way around the ring. How often have you been to a wrestling school where the ring is placed in a corner or against a wall, and you've just got that second's doubt that, am I going to hit the wall? Am I not going to hit the wall? And it can take away from what you're doing. So that was a really important thing for me. Likewise, if you're running drills, if you're running spots where you're coming in and out of the ring, the only thing that you want to be conscious of is, can I get in and out of the ring, and not, I can't do it that side because it's against the wall. So for me, that was incredibly important. Something else that we're providing within this training area, within the wrestling area, is a good host of crash mats for various reasons. If you're a beginner coming in, just bumping on the ring can be quite a shock to the system, and we wanted to make sure that we had good quality crash mats, and trust me, they are good quality, for people to develop their skill on, to make sure that they are bumping correctly before going on to bumping on the mat. And the other reason for having these really high quality crash mats is when people are coming off the top rope, we don't want to just be slamming ourselves onto the mat, especially if it's the first time that we're trying something. So we wanted a good quality crash mats for people to practice and develop their skill before going into a wrestling show. Because again, how often have you wanted to try something and the crash mat that they had was just a bit of foam? It's no good for anybody. So these crash mats that we've got are really high quality. Something else that we've got is padding around the outside of the ring. One, we wanted to make this feel as much as a wrestling event without a crowd as possible, but having mats around the outside just allows things like working on the outside to be that little bit easier, stretching on the outside before you get into the ring, having the security and peace of mind that if you're coming out of the ring, you've at least got some cushioning on the floor and you're not just landing on concrete. So again, for me, that safety element was highly important, and we've really ticked that off. Like I just mentioned, having this as much of a wrestling show as an arena as possible is incredibly vital. So we're going to do things like have ring lights in place, so when it comes to doing matches, we can switch that off and take you from being in a warehouse to being at a show within an instant. Another thing that we're offering is a commentary desk that is going to be live, so as people are performing, we can have commentary going at the same time. And that's not just a gimmick, and it can feel like a bit of a gimmick that there's a commentary desk set up, but what we want to do is provide that opportunity, one, for people that are interested in becoming commentators to have that chance to do that, but also as wrestlers we feel that it's incredibly important that people can talk and say what they see and react to stuff as it's happening. So to sit down on commentary, to go as a play-by-play and be able to talk for 5, 10, 15 minutes is an incredibly helpful tool that I think a lot of people overlook. And again, when we've sat down and talked about it, I went, why are people not doing this more? So again, we can create, one, an environment that feels like a wrestling show, and two, just another aspect of developing the talking game to again create a full 360 picture of what a wrestler is. Included in this wrestling area is a promo area. Let me tell you why that's incredibly vital and something that we wanted to make sure that we had. Something that both me and Nathan have discussed is that promos are a missing element of professional wrestling training within Britain, and we wanted to help develop that and get the most out of it and get the most out of Nathan's skill and expertise. This promo area is going to be set up so we can practice cutting promos, and actually we're going to dedicate more time than I think has ever really been dedicated to promos within wrestling training, because it's that important. Having this promo area set up means that if you're ever asked to cut a promo for a show, rather than just recording it against a brick wall, you have an area that looks professional with lighting, so then we get the best quality footage so you can send on and again just impress even more. This area again is going to be great for taking promo pictures. How often have you been asked by a promoter, do you have any promo pictures? Only then to be like, well, I had some taken at a show and I never got them. We want this area to be there, so if you get new gear, if you want to try out a new character, if you want to just take some photos for your own benefit, we can have that area so you can do that and again get the most out of our training school and again become the most 360 wrestler that you can be. And then finally, to top this area off, we're going to have a TV installed. What we want that TV for is for a couple of reasons. We think that match study and studying matches is incredibly important, especially if we're using examples within our training, so we want that there so we can showcase that. How often have you done a match, getting feedback and a point has been lost? We want to be able to film the matches to get them straight up on the TV, so if people want, we can watch those matches back over again. Same thing with the promos as well. You cut a promo, we watch the promo back, and then we critique from there. And again, I think just that ability to have that TV set up where we can then re-watch stuff is going to be massively helpful. And who knows, maybe come down the line when everything goes back to normal again, pay-per-view nights can be a thing too. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that it comes to completing a wrestler is having the look of a wrestler, and I'm pleased to say that we have the facility to be able to do that and more. I'm not just talking about a couple of dumbbells. The amount of equipment that we have got is unparalleled. As a personal trainer, this excites me to no end, so let me talk you through it a little bit. We have some top class bodybuilding equipment, one of the best back machines that I've ever used, and a leg press that is just a beast. And weight wise, don't worry about it, we have enough weight for the top end lifters. On top of that, we are looking at a huge range of specialty bars. Yes, we have a barbell, but we're looking at a safety squat bar, we're looking at a football bar, just a huge range to accommodate for whatever needs people have. A huge range of dumbbells that, again, some of the weight that we're lifting in there is big, so we don't have to worry about not having adequate weight. And we've got a whole host of kettlebells too, just for that big variety of training. Slam balls, we've got bags, all sorts of stuff. And also within that area, we're going to have an MMA corner. One, to use that area for a little bit of practice, and especially for working on holds and stuff, but then two, also for mobility, to be able to roll around and to have that free space to be able to roll. Again, as a personal trainer, this is my absolute dream, to have this amount of equipment in a space that is just ours to use and just yours to use if you come along to Pursuit Pro Wrestling. We want it to be available to everybody, to use our expertise of myself and Nathan to help people grow, develop, stay injury free, all that sort of stuff. And again, this end of it super excites me. So not only do we have a great quality of stuff within the wrestling area and just going above and beyond for that, within the gym area we're going above and beyond too. So to conclude, we are very much on the road. We are just waiting on this roadmap and the confirmation of dates to be able to say yes, we are opening on this day. But best believe when they say the classes can restart again, we'll be there ready to go. More information about things like times and prices will become available the closer that we get to that point, and really we'll just keep you updated the more information that we get. I think we're all in a similar boat at the moment of just waiting and being like, come on now, let us go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you a little bit more information about exactly what we're offering and what we're looking to do. I'm super excited about this. I really am. I think it's going to be a great tool for people to use to just absolutely elevate themselves up to the next level. Let us know in the comments down below what you're looking forward to, what you'd like to see out of stuff, and just generally how you feeling about Pursuit Pro Wrestling. Let us know. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a share, because that honestly, it massively helps, and we so appreciate everybody that's just been following us stuff so far. You wouldn't believe the amount of positive response that we've had, and we're just extremely thankful and grateful for it. I've been Liam from Pursuit Pro Wrestling, and hopefully next time you see me, I'll be stood within the ring at Pursuit Pro Wrestling.